What really causes heart disease and stroke? Today, we're talking about the fat myth and exposing the deceptions associated with what are the true causes of heart disease and stroke, and what's going on in our body, in our biochemistry. What can we do about it? We're going to be touching on this important topic today, folks. So stay tuned. We're going to dive into it. This is the Prosper Nutrition YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. We want you to prosper and be in health. My name's Jason Steves. I'm a nutrition professional at the Nutrition and Health Center, and I'm joined by my co-host Steve Steves, who is a certified clinical nutritionist and naturopath. And as I mentioned today, we're going to be getting into some really important topic that we dive into a lot in the nutrition clinic that we operate. People come and see us that have concerns regarding heart disease, have risks and family genetic weaknesses when it comes to heart disease, and we help them turn that around. Like Steve turned around his disease diagnosis that most people suffer from, crippling, and it's an ankylosing spondylitis, Steve. Very similar principles at play, I think, in these diseases, but yeah, let's dive in. So the first thing that we want to say is this has been an issue for decades. We've been told that butter and red meat are bad, vegetable oils are good, but what if that's backwards? So we definitely want to question these narratives, like many narratives are being questioned, because it's important to get to the truth about these topics. Steve, this is something that's been, a big part of what you've done to help people over these 31 years you've been running the Nutrition and Health Center. What do you want to share with the people, this kind of open up and get us started with this?
Well, Jason, this topic is discussed with every client as they come in the
What do you
office
want to share with the people this?
because of the extensive use that the body has for essential fatty acids that are derived from fats. And then, of course, short chain fatty acids that come from different types of saturated fats like coconut milk or medium chain triglycerides. They're a fuel, actually fuels the gut to allow it for its healthy production of everything from neurotransmitters to regenerating butyrate for healing and strengthening the gut immunity. So the body depends heavily on fats, just like we depend heavily on God's Spirit within us to lead us and guide us into all things. And so I just really want to continue this discussion because, as a part of the core four nutrients that we provide through Prosper Nutrition, choline, our pure omega-3, and our magnesium all work in this process of allowing oils to be broken down and utilized and taken up in the body and cell membranes. And so the health of the cell membrane determines the health or risk of any disease and all diseases. You'll see it in all the literature. Just go online and Google heart disease and cellular membrane health, like the heart cell membrane. If the heart doesn't have adequate fatty acids, it won't allow for nutrients to fuel the heart and allow the heart to function as it's designed. So whether it's the heart or digestion or the nervous system, everything depends on copious, balanced amounts of omegas. Now, because of this myth that you just mentioned, Jason, that saturated fats were bad and these good oils generated these polyunsaturated margarines way back in the day, and those
Yeah,
oils.
so on that note, where did that come from? Like, what is the foundation of that narrative?
So that is a good research topic, I think, because what I remember hearing from the researchers, and you can look at Dr. Udos Erasmus, who wrote a book in the 90s called Fats That Kill, Fats That Heal. And he goes into deep information about fats and how they work. And he was considered a leading expert in the world in his time on essential fatty acids and fats in the body and how they work. And so he supported a company that made flaxseed oil. And so we used a lot of flaxseed because it was a plant oil. And if you could show the viewers a picture of the essential fatty acid metabolic map, you'll see the omega-3s in the plant form that are up at the top of the essential fatty acid chart on the right-hand side. And the coloring there ties into whether it is an anti-inflammatory or a pro-inflammatory fatty acid. So the linoleic acid, the omega-6 pathway on the left-hand side, drives inflammation. Now, we need inflammation. Our body has to be able to create intense amounts of circulation and inflammation when there are times of stress and trauma, which unfortunately people are pushing on their bodies too much every day. But the body consumption of excess amounts of omega-6 drive up their risk of heart disease and stroke because of inflammation. And the research on inflammation and heart disease is very clear. When the inflammation is high, omega-6s are always high. You'll see an average American amount of omega-6 in their bloodstream at 15 parts to 1 part of omega-3. So the giving of omega-3s, though, in plant form is difficult because of processing. They need to be consumed cold on salads or after you cook a meal and you drizzle it over the food. If you cook with any omega-6 or 3, you will hydrogenate and create a trans fat, a highly volatile fat that becomes has high concentrations of lipid peroxides. And these are like little bombs that explode your cells and damage cells. And literally is one of the causes and sources linked to cancer in the body. And so people are unaware of that. They're just randomly eating processed food that has all these seed oils with linoleic acid, too much omega-6. And so we get in people in the office, we do these omega checks to evaluate, what is their omega-6 level? You see that on the chart. Omega-3, we measure their EPA, we measure their DHA, which has to do with the concentration in the brain for memory and for focus and for intelligence level, literally are linked to DHA availability in the brain, which is the highest concentration of fat in the brain. And then the arachidonic acid, which is a downstream molecule that gives us an indication if it's elevated, whether a person's getting too much omega-6, and if they're not getting enough EPA. The difficulty is the omega-3s that we used to give in plant form are so hard to break down. The science is showing most people only utilize about 10% of all their plant forms of omega-3s, and we still like to consume them. I put chia seeds in a coconut pudding that we make, and we use flax seeds and flaxseed oil on our salads and in smoothies. But our very important focus is on fish oil because it doesn't require all the enzymes that the body has to use to break down that omega-3 to make EPA and to make DHA. Literally, your cell membranes are made up of these components. And you've got trillions of cells in the body, and all these cells are trying to signal hormones, signal communication. And this is why cholesterol is elevated. Not enough EPA and DHA, they help balance that. But also there becomes an improvement in the cells to be able to see the hormones, see the neurotransmitters in the membrane, see the blood sugar, and absorb it into the cell. And so when the cells don't absorb, then we get into this problem of what's called cellular resistance. You might have heard the term insulin resistance. It was first coined as a term when they saw this most dominant hormone that controlled blood sugar, and the high risk of diabetes is linked to this fatty acid deficiency, toxic cell membranes, and we've got improved cell membrane health with enough fatty acids so that insulin will turn on the cell, let the sugar in, and everything comes in. The healthy nutrients that are coming in through your diet want to pass into the cells to give you energy, give you vitality, allow you for hormone, give you better mood, give you a better emotional state in a lot of situations. So I can't say enough about it. There's so much to talk about and how the body breaks down fatty acid, but people need to get tested and it'll show them where their risk factor is. If you pull up that JAMA study, that chart, and they didn't really know until 1996 when this multi-generational study was concluded, they finally came to tell us the truth that omega-3 fatty acids in the bloodstream are the number one factor in cardiovascular disease and stroke risk. End of discussion. JAMA study, 1996. So then the Genome Project happened just shortly after that. We started to understand genetics and that association. So biochemistry of the body has been so historically misunderstood. They've been researching for all these years, and the misunderstood comes with bias in the literature because of big pharma. They want to drive their drug industry to tell you you need this drug or that drug to manipulate your cholesterol or your triglycerides or to push down your blood pressure. Hold on a second.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So yeah, that's one of the things that I guess would be helpful for you to kind of explain. You were diving into a little bit, but it looks like from originally Ansel Keys was kind of involved with this flawed foundation regarding fats, and he did this, apparently really big study, but he selectively used the data to kind of support his theory, it seems like. And that's kind of what's been coming out regarding this. And that's, kind of circle back around to what you just said. What really works is when you look closely at biochemistry and how this, how the fats work in the body and how the body responds to fats, dietary fats. Um, and that's what we need to look at, and that's what we've been doing. But unfortunately, the prevailing medical approach has not been that. It's been, vilifying the saturated fats, and making a big promotion of vegetable oils and all of that. So that's something that we're trying to help people understand and kind of turn around because it's not been working. People have been getting sicker. And so that's, we're having people come to see us after they've tried the traditional medical approach and, followed the, narratives out there, and they're just not better. Their health is worse. Our country's health is getting worse and worse over the years, but there's more money being put towards these initiatives than ever. And so why aren't these health issues changing? I mean, one of the ways that I was talking to somebody about it the other day, um, the name of the diseases is a part of the name of the organizations that are responsible for the research. So if there is a I guess you could say, some people use the word cure, but like if there is a solution found that helps people not have that disease anymore, then what's going to happen to that organization? Well, that organization is not going to be needed anymore because that disease goes away, right? So you
Yes,
have to
exactly.
keep that disease going, that disease label going, to keep that
Jason,
organization going. Yeah.
such a good point, Jason. Literally, if we can walk in God's promises, as he said in Exodus, and follow in his ways, as we have as a family for 37 years, then no disease comes near your dwelling. Your family's healthy. They don't need medical treatment unless there's an emergency. Thank God for emergency care and how the first responders are quite remarkable and how they save lives. That part of our system is important. And it reminds me of a poem called The Dangerous Cliff, which I'll share with the folks sometime. just the whole mentality that we've developed that everything is an emergency. Well, it's not. High blood pressure, not an emergency. Find out if you're stressed, find out if you're dehydrated, find out did you get enough sleep the previous night? Make sure you're taking your adequate nutrients such as magnesium and choline and your fatty acids. So if you get behind on your nutrient intake, you're certainly going to see an increase in blood pressure. Just ask the right questions and don't let fear. That's the number one thing that the enemy uses to cause us to do the wrong thing and take us down. What's the path he wants us to go down? To steal, kill, and destroy from our lives, take away our health. And most people end up spending, they get around my age, they're going to the doctors multiple. The average American goes about 5 times a year. Well, I haven't gone. I went one time just so I could qualify for an insurance policy, one time in 37 years. And so, but I do evaluations, look at my blood chemistries and so forth. So what do you suppose that really makes it look like in society today, how often people go to doctors? I know that some of my parental units were going every week, sometimes multiple times per week. It is a money generating industry that isn't helping people get better. It just makes them more fearful and more reliant on a system that's broken. That's why there's such a passion by the FDA, by Kennedy and his work on the uh, in the government that he's involved with. So the passion and the direction that our country's headed is good. We have to, as a people, support that. Quit buying the junk oil foods, the processed foods. Start purchasing the healthier foods, the organic foods, going to farmers markets. Like we're taking our group out this on the 25th to the Waller's Farmers Market. It's called Kingdom Oaks Farm and Ranch, and they have a farmers market a couple times a month on Saturday, every other, I think second and fourth Saturday. So we welcome any of you listening to come out to that about 10 o'clock on the 25th. We'll be out there milling around and enjoying some of the cooked food that they're providing as well, from some of the organic chicken that'll be on the grill out there that you can purchase while you walk around and shop with all of these Christian vendors that are providing organic, healthy foods. But that's where we need to go to. We need to develop our own society that will, in fact, provide us with quality foods. And when you sow that into your body, folks, there's only one area that we do not compromise on what it costs, and that's what we put into these bodies. This body is God's temple, and as you honor God with this body, he'll honor you back with it. He has with us. We've seen it again, 37 years, and we can't say enough about how God honors his people when we honor him. In fact, that was a scripture God gave to, it's in Samuel. Those that honor me, I too will honor. And God spoke that to Samuel, the prophet. And he's speaking that to us today. So know his word, find out what it says in his word about even these topics of oils and fats. And so we do have an article called Revisiting the Fat Myth, and we can send you a copy out of that, along with giving you a discount on some of these products today that we talked about, using the choline, our pure omega-3, which is a nitrogen blanketed. Jason, you can share a little bit about the purity of that product. And
the choline,
the pure omega-3.
Oh, the pure omega-3, yes. Yeah, so pure omega-3, that's our EPA and DHA fish oil product, which is, as we've been talking about, fats are something that can be sensitive, and fish oils especially are very sensitive. And so the way fish oils are processed is something that's important when it has to do with, vegetables we were talking about. That's a problem because they're being oxidized. They're not of nutritional value when they're extracting them and heating them, and they're losing any nutritional value.
They become damaging. They're not giving people nutrition. And we even see that under the live blood, people that have been taking fish oils that are oxidized, or if they bite into it. There's a true test, right? Take your fish oil capsule, bite into it and tell me if you enjoy that taste. And
Yeah.
if you don't enjoy it in any form or fashion, it tastes fishy, it tastes a little rancid, you've got a processed oil that has been damaged in processing and is damaging to you. So listen to your taste buds, folks. It's just
Yeah.
like we'll get
Right.
into the salt discussion and everything else. Your body is designed to protect you.
Yeah.
When your mind has been deceived by the enemy, just listen to what the body is trying to tell you, and you'll learn
Right.
so much more.
Yeah, so the way that we do that to avoid these sensitive fish oils oxidizing and not being of nutritional value is we purify these oils under nitrogen, and that's the process that these products go through. And the nitrogen, what it does is it takes out all the oxygen from the environment where it's being processed, and it allows for that breakdown of those oils. There's inevitable breakdown of nutrients that are exposed to oxygen, inevitable. So there's going to be a much slower, better quality product here than there is any other fish oils. And we can actually, we've got with fish oils, you can actually test the total toxin load that kind of gives an indication of how good of a quality the fish oil is. And ours is a cut above when it comes to the total toxin. It's called Totox. We can show you that information if you'd like. We do third-party independent testing to make sure that what is in our product, what is on the label is in our product. So we do full disclosure labels too. We keep our fish oil very simple and to the point, to just really deliver these nutrients in a quality way. So this product, we actually had a lot of clients a couple years ago make a switch from using pretty decent quality fish oil to using this much better quality fish oil. And I think you noticed in some of their test markers, they started to see improvements just making that simple quality switch from, a decent quality to even better quality fish oil.
Yeah, we started seeing less arachidonic acid. There was less inflammation in their body in general. You saw that in the symptom questionnaire, but you also saw a higher concentration of live blood that was pure looking. The red blood cells
Mm.
showed more stable cell membranes, less oxidation. The list goes on and on of the positive things that we saw, and that's
Mhm.
why we took that standard. I know that um, that Dr. Jaffe and his formulation, they do their third party testing measures contaminants like mercury, lead, and PCBs and so forth to the parts per billion, where the standard industry is parts per million in testing. And so it's like 1,000 times more pure in the testing standards
Mhm.
for these toxic materials that are often found in the typical commercial products out there.
Right. Yeah, it's a
Right.
it's a amazing quality product and definitely worth the switch if you a lot of people take fish oil supplements and I think we're speaking to that right here. And if you can make the switch to using Prosper Nutrition's pure omega-3, it will be a positive impact overall in your life for sure.
Well,
Now,
Jason, if they're not taking fish oil supplements,
yeah.
they're gonna have more inflammation. They're gonna have a higher risk of diabetes. They're gonna have a higher risk of heart disease. They're gonna have a higher risk of cancer. It's known. It's proven in all the research. So don't neglect taking fish oil. And the average female that's 5 foot or taller should be taking 3 to 4 a day as a minimum. My wife is 5'3" and about 115 pounds, and she takes 6 a day. And she has very specific reasons why she does for optimal omega-3 levels of 14%. The higher your omega-3s, the higher level of intelligence, the higher, just higher benefits in so many ways.
Yeah.
Negative effects? Nope, haven't seen them. Just like vitamin D3, knowing how to supplement that, a fat soluble vitamin, all the whole fat soluble family is just a synergistic support for how your body utilizes those omega-3 fats. And that's important that you're on something like our Liver Protect that has that whole family of fat soluble antioxidants that protects your cells, protects your liver, and allows for your fatty acids to stay stable in your own cell membranes because of all the environmental, toxic, inflammatory, oxidizing, damaging stuff that's out there.
Well, folks, this is an important topic. It can make a huge impact on your risks to heart disease and stroke. If you really make a shift in your mindset, a shift in your approach when you're taking care of your health and your heart disease risks, you want to focus more on whole foods. You want to focus more on good quality proteins. Beef is not bad. There may be certain, not everybody is going to have the exact same diet, but there are some principles that are important to follow, and that's what we're talking about today. Now, if you're not sure about how you need to approach your health and the specific nutrient needs or diet needs that your body needs, come to see us. Steve and I both evaluate your individual biochemistry. We help get you on a food plan that is Mediterranean style, but we tailor it to your individual needs to make sure that your body responds best to that diet, and you have much lower risk of heart disease and stroke as a result. When you follow that diet, you take the better quality supplements, you hydrate well, and you're following these principles that we're talking about here today. So come and see us. You can contact our office at 281-440-0024. Our ladies at the front, they're wonderful, great, be able to help you get started. And we hopefully we'll see you around the office. Now, if you're a client and you've been seeing us, thanks for watching. Everybody is going to have an opportunity to order from prospernutrition.com and get a 10% discount if they use this code. You can use this code at checkout. There's a coupon code area. You'll just type it in. It's all, no spaces, just all typed straight in. The code is 101725 show. That's the date that we're doing this show. 10/17/25 show, and that will get you 10% off your next order on prospernutrition.com. So take advantage of that opportunity, get the pure omega-3 and other nutrients like that you mentioned, Steve, choline, magnesium. Those are going to help reduce your heart disease and stroke risk, and will have a net positive for you in helping you improve your health. Steve, can you share some closing statements for the people?
Yeah, just to piggyback on what you just said, Jason, the combination of choline and magnesium is currently being worked on a trademark for a patent that Dr. Jaffe is trying to put together to get into the drug industry. So it's two natural ingredients that pull toxic compounds out of your arteries and veins. We've seen it. I had a 67-year-old man who had both carotid arteries about 70% blocked, and now it's considered a normal thing. My dad was told when they saw 50% of his carotids blocked up to his brain, they go, oh, well, that's pretty common. And there was no hope for, no, you can reverse that if you do this or that. But this actually does reverse plaquing. It's been shown in the studies, and that's why they're working through this patent. So pray for Dr. Jaffe and that open door opportunity for that to become a medication that cardiologists will use and get effective results without side effects, these nutrients that the body needs. And I pray that you prosper and be in health as you walk down this pathway of using quality nutrients to make a difference in your body's function.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time here on the Prosper Nutrition YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified when we post other videos. And check out other content. We've got a lot of recordings that we've done in the past, live in our live section with a lot of information on different health topics. So check those videos out and get informed. So prosper and be in health. We'll see you next time. Take care now.